Well, hello, Kerry. Good to see you. Thanks for joining me.
It's
That's love.
wonderful to be here for yet another session.
Absolutely. So, for those that are watching us for the first time, this is our monthly live event that we do here on LinkedIn. And it's part of a series that we have called Paths to Pleasant Places as we wander and meander. I don't know, Kerry, what do you think when you hear that word, paths to pleasant places?
I think that all of our lives is just a journey. And so we do want our journeys to be pleasant. And we are all
Mm,
on a path, and sometimes we're on multiple paths. So I love that
right.
terminology, paths to pleasant
Yeah,
places.
and that it is, as you say, it's a journey, and that we need to open ourselves up and just be receptive, I think, to what we can learn along the way. And I guess that also ties into the growth mindset. As I was saying that, I kind of thought growth mindset as opposed to fixed mindset. And so our path to pleasant places is to take you on a growth mindset journey. But you will find us here on a Thursday, and it's usually the same time, third week of the month, and definitely at the same time at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 4 p.m. East Coast. So we'll always post it up on LinkedIn. So I hope that you are following Kiri and myself so that you'll know when we do the next one. And we've got something, a nice surprise in stock for July. But we plan to be here with you for about 30 minutes. And today we're going to be talking about taking back the strengths of our saboteurs that we tend to overuse. And as always, we welcome your thoughts, your ideas. So just pop into the comment section. If you have thoughts or ideas on this, let us know. We go back and we look at the comments and would love to engage and interact with you. So, taking back your strengths. We do have saboteurs, all of us have these saboteurs, but they do also have underlying strengths. And we want to recognize that we can claim them back. We can claim them back for our peace of mind, for using them in our business. And today, for the most part, we're going to be focusing on the top saboteurs of myself, Kiri, and Francesca, who is unfortunately not able to be with us today. But with that, let me just tell you a little bit about Kiri and I and Francesca. We met through our positive intelligence coaching community and bring a diverse coaching style, different talents, different perspectives, and we're in different parts of the world, right, Kiri?
Yes, I'm way down in Aotearoa, New Zealand. And for me, it is Friday at 8 a.m.
Wow, it's so cool when you sort of think you're in another day of the week, and I'm still here on Thursday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So, but we thought we'd share our top saboteur. We've each picked one, but we wanted to share with you just a quick overview, of the saboteurs. But before we do that, I would love for Kiri just to tell us a little bit more about what she does. I'll tell you what I do, and then we'll also tell you about what Francesca does.
Thank you so much. Ngā mihi nui ki a koutou. So greetings to you all. It is really exciting that this is our fourth session today. And I am a professional coach for professional women, and I'm passionate about empowering Indigenous women to build their impact and their confidence in male-dominated industries. I also want to share about Francesca. Francesca isn't here because actually this is about us all being aware when we need to prioritize our life and our own well-being. But Francesca is an amazing partner in this group, and she is a certified business and organizational coach specializing in guiding small businesses, and particularly those led by women and families, towards mental clarity and resilience to achieve business success, personal mastery, and community impact.
Thanks for sharing a little bit about Francesca. And yeah, you'll get to meet her on the next session. And we do. We sort of respect and admire that speaking up, being vulnerable, and saying that when you need to take a break and you've put too much on your plate. And the interesting thing that we'll share on Francesca's side is hyperachiever is her top saboteur. And I am Carol Clegg, your progress and mindset coach. And I love helping women business owners overcome procrastination and just find a positive growth mindset, listen to your heart, and self-empathy. It's so important that if we can focus on self-empathy, we can go miles together. So that is a little bit about us. And I wanted to just pop up on the screen all the saboteurs. And so you'll hear us talking saboteurs and sage and wonder, well, what's this all about? And it is language that is part of the positive intelligence coaching program. But Kiri has other coaching programs that she is part of as well. So she integrates this into her system. As opposed to myself, I focus on positive intelligence. And I know Francesca also integrates it into the coaching methods that she uses. So that is the wonderful flexibility about this. I mean, Kiri, what do you say? We each of us, the three of us, use this model in a different way.
Absolutely. So I use this program for people in professional industries to support how they lead their teams and how they show up in themselves. However, when I'm doing individual coaching or team coaching, I use what I have learned through certified through Coach Masters Academy. And through them, I'm a master certified coach, and I use their method, which is around inspiring positive change. So yes, it's a beautiful thing of crafting what is needed based on who I'm talking to and working
Absolutely. Right. Yeah. And this is an application system, which is it's really nice. So it's something that you put into play, you put into practice. And so when you hear us talking about the PQ operating system, it provides an opportunity to identify and decrease negative thoughts. I mean, that's where we're going, is we want to quieten those negative thought voices. They will be with us. They do serve a purpose, which is why we are talking about the strengths that are behind these saboteurs. So that's when you hear us using this language of saboteurs. And then we want to increase the positive thoughts. And in positive intelligence, we call this SAGE. But with that, let me just quickly share my screen. And let's hope this works. And yes, it does. So Kiri, can you see the screen? Yes, you can.
I can see the screen. Well done. Carol is our technical expert, and I'm always very impressed with her ability to guide us.
Not always. I see a little a little overlap there, but you know what? What's more important is just doing a quick overview. So Kiri, if you look at our slide, I know we've got 9 here, and we include the judge, which is our dominant saboteur that we all have. Which are your top 3?
Okay, so my top 3 is top left. I am an avoider. So I avoid getting stuff done, particularly icky stuff that doesn't fill my cup. My next one is the victim that I'll be talking about today around, it's not fair, they don't understand me, like that kind of stuff. I don't know whether that resonates with anybody that's listening. And my third is a pleaser. Like my favorite word is yes. Yes, I'll do that. Yes, I'll do that. And sometimes that yes comes with,
I'll take that on.
And sometimes that yes comes with, yes, but I really don't want to.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to dig into... for me, I'm with you on the avoider. So I don't like conflict, and I do like to keep the peace. And I don't like to make people unhappy. So avoiding stressful situations is definitely up my alley. But the interesting thing is the flip side of the coin. I have controller. So it's kind of interesting where I want to control the outcome. I want things to go the way I want them to go. I believe that this is the best in the interest of everybody else. You wonder if there's not a little hyper in there. But the other one with me is restless. So chasing after the next shiny object. And I know that we're going to get a little more into this when we start talking about our particular claiming back the strength and a little story or two about the top saboteurs. So there we go. Those are the 9 that you can see up on the screen. So with that, as I mentioned, we're going to focus today on hyperachiever, which is Francesca's, controller, which is mine, and then Kiri has chosen victim for today. So with that, I had wanted to just pull up another presentation, and let's see if I can get this one right.
And so, Carol, tell me a bit about your controller, because for me, as a victim, that I get triggered by controllers,
and vice versa. So it's so interesting, and yet we have to share with our listeners that we've been journeying together. We started off with a meeting together twice a month. There were 4 of us, coaches out of the PQ system, and we've journeyed along together over a year, Kiri. Not so, I would say. At least,
what a wonderful journey it's
and
been on our path.
And then we decided that we were going to do this live and come on together. So it's so interesting. You hear that we managed to do beautiful things together, yet we are triggered by each other's saboteurs. And when you shared that, that was something that made me think, you know, how we need to recognize the saboteurs in somebody else and then realize that our saboteur triggers them. And then how can we play that down? So although you'll hear us just talking about our top 3, it's good to be aware of the others and to have an understanding of what that feels like for somebody else to be in that cloak of that loud negative voice. But the controller for me wants to just, you know, kind of get things done, put a system in place, concerned if it doesn't run smoothly. So I feel like I need to take control. And the funny thing, when you asked me that question, Kiri, I think, you know, I've been in business now for 13 years, not always coaching, but doing marketing. And I have the biggest problem handing anything over to anybody else. It's like, I'm going to do it, whether it's my favorite thing to do, which often it is not, but I'm going to do it all. So I think that is, you know, a perfect example when you think of a controller that they don't want to delegate. They don't want to give it up.
Well, you know what's interesting when you say that to me, because like when I have people around me that are controllers, I love that about them, that they get things done and they get things organized and they make decisions. And so like so much of the time, I see that as a strength in others, and I enjoy it. And it's only when I am not feeling good within myself, that something's been said, or there is something that I want to have a say in, and I don't feel able to, that the controller actually triggers me. So sometimes I see the controller as, I see these strengths, and I love these strengths, and I love working with them.
It's interesting that you share that, because it's funny, as a controller, there's like sometimes you go, would somebody else just take this away from me? Will somebody else just do this? And when you ask me that question, I just think of something on a more personal side as far as travel. So I love to organize everything on travel. So when our family travels, no matter where we go, I love doing the research. I do all the flights, I decide where we're staying, I package it all together like a travel agent. And then when I get there, I go, oh, this would be so nice if somebody else could just do this for me. And I could just put my feet up. But then I know what would happen is that I'd be critical of like, well, you didn't do this and you didn't do that and you didn't. So it is wonderful. The restless wants to go and play, but the controller wants it all done properly. So let's have a quick look before we dig into your victim one. I am going to see if I can share my screen again. As we talk about the saboteur impact, which does, it's, you know, it's performance. Yes, so it's business, but it's our wellness and our relationships. So, you know, our relationships at work, in the office, and then again, you know, at home. So I'm going to come here to the controller and just, you know, allow those that can see our screen to take a quick overview of where a controller impacts and how it can be just detrimental in these different areas. So on our performance, team members not feeling inspired because they're feeling controlled and they're not allowed to, contribute. And so, Kiri, as you say, opening up and having your voice and being able to say something. If a controller's in the room, you might not do that, right?
Absolutely. And sometimes I don't. However, what I'm really curious about, Carol, in terms of your controller, is what strengths do you see in being so organised and making the world easier for others?
That's a lovely way to put it, because that's a good thing to remember, because there is an impact on my wellness and my performance. So there's stress that comes in when there's too much on my plate, and you get frustrated and you get irritated. But when you talk about the strengths that I have and I need to come back to and just spend a little time reflecting on, is that I do take action. I as much as the avoider can come in, when I'm rolling with something, I'll take action and get it taken care of, and put things in place to make sure that I might forget that I took that action because I tend to do it in the moment straight away, and so it's done, and then I forget that I did it. So that's kind of interesting. But I can be persistent.
I'm going to pick up on that one, Carol, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
So, in terms of forgetting something that has actually had an impact on both yourself and others, a positive impact, what's something that you could do differently about perhaps, rather than forgetting, bookmarking that to celebrate?
Thank you. Yes, that remembering that, when I do most things, so why do I doubt myself that I haven't done them? When that is, normally I take action and get it done. So that absolutely, thank you. And I guess the part that served me well, that I need to bring back again, is the confidence. That a controller generally has quite a bit of confidence, and probably why they take action and they're persistent and they're willful. And often we I think, oh, when I don't have confidence, my happiness barometer, thermometer, whatever you want to call it, drops way down.
Wow.
So, kind of an interesting reflection as you're asking me these questions is remembering that I do have confidence. And it's
may I add another word in there for you to consider, to ponder, to be curious about? And that word is capability.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Well, I'm going to let you now take over as we explore yours, which is the victim. So I know you've got a story to share with us. I can take the slide down. I can leave it up, whatever you prefer.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can take it down for a moment, and then we'll put that back up at the end so people have to look at me rather than me. That would be wonderful.
All right.
Victim sounds so sad, so like poety. It's something that people feel sorry for people that are victims. But I found something that I want to share with you. This revelation that I've actually known for some time, but sometimes I've found it hard to put into words. Like, we all have stuff that we feel, that we visualize, that we sense. Sometimes that stuff can be negative. It can be talking to us and telling us that we're not good enough, that we could do better, that we should be more beautiful, less wrinkles, less grey hair, more intelligent, more successful, more popular. Yet, we would never tell that to our children. We would never tell that to our loved ones. We actually deal with our logic so much when we think about ourselves. But actually, when we think about others, those that we care about, we go to our heart and how we feel, and we see the good in them. So I'm here to share a bit about the good in the victim and the good in me, and the journey that I've been on and then continue to be on that path to being more pleasant to myself. So I know I'm unique, and I know that no one really understands me or knows me like I do. But what I've also discovered is that sometimes my view of myself is rather imperfect, and I don't feel understood. And when I feel emotionally impacted by something, and that kind of classic fight, flight, or freeze, my number one go-to is freeze. I become locked in my head and what was said, and I go into this spiral of no one understands me. How dare they? Don't they know I'm not good enough? But sometimes that is a real positive of being a victim and having that kind of saboteur, because the other side to that is that I can be really sensitive. I can really understand and feel people's emotions. And rather than block them, I can get fascinated with what they are and what's behind them and what's good about them and what I learn about myself. And this week, I was going for a walk and I walked up this little hill, and there's a woman sitting on a park bench looking out. And I turned around and looked what she was looking at, and she was looking at a tangi at a funeral of somebody that had just been buried. And she looked really sad. And I said to her, "Do you know the person that has passed away?" And this tear trickled down her face. She said, "Yes, that was my son's friend. He just committed suicide." And I said to her, "Can I give you a hug?" And I gave her a hug. And I hope that I made her day that much better, because I recognized I felt something that made me want to reach out to her. So it's no surprise that in this discovery that I've decided that coaching is my thing that I want to do.
Absolutely, right.
Others, and to actually understand that, yes, I am imperfect. Yes, there are times where I don't, I feel sorry for myself and I can be a victim. But actually, there's some real strengths in that as well. And so, what I'm wondering when I look at, who's going to be listening to this or who is listening to this now, is what about you? What stuff gets in your way? What behaviors do you have? And what do you know about actually trying to harness all that good stuff to make you even better and to make your path more pleasant in life?
It's such a beautiful, powerful reminder for those that have the victim as their top saboteur, because people can tend to shut down and want to push you away and not stop to listen and realize that you have so much power with your empathy.
Mm.
And if you
Yes, and
think,
compassion and just care.
that, yeah, I mean, that's, the fact that you're in tune, that you noticed this woman, that she needed, and you know that you made a difference in her day. You do.
Mm.
So
Thank you.
that was beautiful. So I'm going to pop up the let's just find it again quickly, just so you can talk into the victim slide, on these areas of impact on performance, wellness, relationships, and time wasted. Isn't that an interesting one? That, basically these stories that we tell ourselves in our head divert us, right?
Oh, and and even more than in time, but in everything, in our performance, in our wellness, in our relationships, it's the energy that it saps.
Mhm.
The whole thing of when we were in that kind of negative mindset or that fixed mindset, it consumes our energy and our mind. However, when we are in that growth mindset, as you talked about earlier, and we are on that path and it's pleasant, my gosh, doesn't it fill our cup?
Powerful.
Powerful. Love
Yep,
that word.
absolutely powerful. But yeah, so absolutely that, one taking charge, taking control. And then I think the same as you said, Kiri, congratulating ourselves when we can recognize these strengths and allow the saboteurs' voices to be quietened. But we have a share from Francesca. Do you want to tell our listeners a little bit more about that? And then I'm going to pop up her video if I can get that to play.
Sure. So as we shared earlier, Francesca, our beautiful partner here, is a hyperachiever. That is the one. And
I've stopped it. So
oh, sorry. So she has put together something based on what she shared in this amazing world of AI and what it's come back with. And it was so impactful.
So here we go.
Applause washed over me, a physical sensation. I, a nervous wreck moments before, had delivered a flawless presentation. The feeling was intoxicating, a potent mix of validation and exhilaration. This was it, the siren song of success. And I was utterly captivated. From a young age, I was wired to achieve. Good grades were celebrated, extracurricular victories lauded. The message was clear: success equaled worth. This became my driving force, a relentless pursuit of excellence. There's an undeniable allure to outperforming, to setting the bar high and then soaring above it. But this constant striving, this insatiable hunger for more, comes at a price. Behind the gleaming trophies and accolades lie countless sacrifices and a constant nagging fear of failure. What sets hyperachievers apart? It's not just talent or intelligence, but an unwavering dedication, an almost superhuman ability to outwork and outlast. We are defined by our grit, our resilience in the face of adversity. The path is rarely linear. It's paved with long nights, early mornings, and moments of self-doubt that whisper insidious lies. But it's also marked by exhilarating breakthroughs, the thrill of surpassing our own expectations, the joy of turning dreams into tangible realities. There's an almost addictive quality to this cycle of setting goals, striving, and achieving. Each victory fuels the next pursuit, pushing us further, higher, faster. The satisfaction lies not just in the destination, but in the relentless pursuit itself. This drive, however, can become a double-edged sword. The line between ambition and obsession blurs. We risk becoming slaves to our own aspirations, neglecting our well-being, relationships, and even our own happiness in the relentless pursuit of external validation. There's an undeniable exhilaration that comes with achieving what you set out to do. The taste of victory is sweeter when you've poured your heart and soul into the pursuit. It's a potent cocktail of validation, relief, and pride. For many, the summit represents the pinnacle of their aspirations. It's the culmination of years of hard work, sacrifice, and unwavering focus. The view from the top is breathtaking, a testament to their dedication and relentless spirit. But the summit is not a final destination. It's a temporary plateau, a moment to catch your breath, to appreciate the journey, and to set your sights on the next challenge. The true hyperachiever knows that complacency is the enemy of progress. This constant striving, however, can lead to a sense of emptiness. We reach one peak only to find ourselves immediately looking towards the next, never pausing to truly savor the moment, to appreciate the beauty of the journey itself. The pursuit of excellence often comes at a cost. Hyperachievers often find themselves making difficult choices, sacrificing personal time, relationships, and even their own well-being in the pursuit of their goals. The relentless pressure to succeed can take a toll on mental and physical health. Sleepless nights, skipped meals, and constant stress become the norm. Relationships suffer as we prioritize our goals over personal connections. The fear of failure, ever present, can be paralyzing. It drives us to push harder, to strive for perfection, but it can also lead to burnout, anxiety, and a pervasive sense of inadequacy. The hyperachiever's journey is often a solitary one. We isolate ourselves, pushing away loved ones who we fear might hold us back or judge our choices. We become so focused on the destination that we forget to enjoy the journey, the company of those who matter most. The key to sustainable achievement lies in finding balance. It's about pursuing our passions without sacrificing our well-being, our relationships, or our own happiness. Learning to celebrate small victories, to appreciate the journey as much as the destination is crucial. It's about finding joy in the process, in the daily grind, rather than solely focusing on the end goal. Prioritizing self-care is not selfish, it's essential. Taking time for rest, relaxation, and connection with loved ones is not a distraction from our goals, but a necessary investment in our long-term well-being. Redefining success is crucial. It's not just about external validation, but about living a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling. It's about using our drive and determination to make a positive impact on the world, to leave a legacy that extends beyond our own achievements. The true legacy of a hyperachiever lies not just in trophies, but in their impact on the world. It's about using their drive to make a difference, leaving the world better, mentoring others, sharing knowledge to help others achieve their dreams, advocating for causes, inspiring positive change in communities, contributing to something larger, leaving a lasting legacy.
Loved that.
So powerful. And I think the fact that so many entrepreneurs or solopreneurs, business owners have CEOs, it's applicable, I think, in so many places, the hyperachiever. So Francesca, thank you for making. Francesca wrote her copy and then put it into AI to make the video for her. So well done.
Beautiful. So I know that we're at the end of our day and our time together.
And I'd love to just quickly leave everybody with a how to quieten. So how to quieten the victim, Kerry? What would you recommend?
Feel the emotion. It's real. Don't try and block it out because that saps your energy. But then you don't need to stay there. You are not your emotion. And remove yourself from the emotion and understand what gift you have of connecting, teaching, and inspiring.
Powerful encouragement for those that have the victim as one of their top saboteurs, without a doubt. And for me on the controller, you hear me often talking about ease and flow. And so it's just allowing ease and flow into a situation, stopping. I always say pause, pulling on the empathy, pause before responding, and then shift. What we have is a visual in positive intelligence to surfing the wave. So shift from controller to surfer, because it's not necessarily going to go my way and I can change the direction. And as Kiri mentioned, gifts, we like to talk about the 3 gifts technique. And the sage response is you have some choices. Think of 2 buckets. You can accept and make peace with the situation in bucket number 1. And in bucket number 2, you can turn it into what we talk about the 3 gifts technique. And we'll dig into that more at another time. But those basically are knowledge, power, and inspiration. So with that, Kerry, I guess we are wrapping up our conversation. We hope that those that are listening to the replay enjoy what we have shared. And we are excited that next month we have a guest joining us. Julie Rowett will be sharing insights on the relationship between the Enneagram and your saboteurs. So if you are looking to do a complimentary saboteur assessment, which is provided by Positive Intelligence, and then myself, Kiri, or Francesca can walk you through a complimentary discovery session to explore what your results are. But what I'm really excited about is how Julie is able to tie these in. And so the saboteurs as they are line up with the Enneagram numbers. So connect with us. You will find Francesca on LinkedIn. Kiri, best place to find you?
On LinkedIn as well.
Lovely. And you can find me too here on LinkedIn, or stop by my website, which is carolclegg.com. So until next month, we see you then. And thanks for being here. Thanks, Kiri.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Bye-bye.